to Luke. Jesus journeyed to a city called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd accompanied him. As he drew near to the gate of the city, a man who had died was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. A large crowd from the city was with her. When the Lord saw her, he was moved with pity for her and said to her, "Do not weep." He stepped forward and touched the coffin. At this, the bearers halted, and he said, "Young man, I tell you, arise." The dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother. Fear seized them all, and they glorified God, exclaiming, "A great prophet has arisen in our midst, and God has visited his people." This report about him spread through the whole of Judea and in all the surrounding region. The Gospel of the Lord.
Where in the world is Chrispine? You might remember a series of homilies when a seminarian landed on our shores 2 years ago, and we welcomed him here at St. Henry. And this has become his home, and we are proud and honored that one of our favorite sons is ordained. Where in the world is Father Chrispine? We now ask. He had a lot of adventures when he first got here. He loved to explore, if you remember. He went downtown Portland and hopped on a tour bus to find all about the inner city. And then he learned to drive on the American streets, and he survived that too. Some of his exploits got him lost, and pulling out of Safeway one day, he was recognizing he was drawing closer and closer to Mount Hood. So, Father Chrispine, you've come a long way. He now has a car with a license plate, and I have a hard time remembering my own license plate, and mine reads YWP 228. I remember the 228. I'm a mathematician, but the YWP I keep forgetting, so I finally decided I must have some way of remembering this. So I just decided I am a young, wild priest. Father Chrispine is much more reverent. His license reads CFK. And I like to think that if he can't remember his will read Chrispine for Kyrie. Chrispine for the Lord. No pressure. He was reminded by the Archbishop at the ordination yesterday, over and over again, I counted 5 times, today is not all about you. It's about in persona Christi capiti. It's about you being ordained into the person of Christ, the head. Be humble, be very grateful. The preacher at my first Mass wasn't quite so kind. He said, remember, Father Charles has been ordained, not canonized. And so I can say to Father Chrispine, remember, you are ordained, not canonized. There's much left to be done. Crispin has indeed come a long way. He has absolutely not a nervous bone in his body, and he's not stressed today much. But he comes recognizing the wonderful words from the Old Testament. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. We are here to rejoice with him in being chosen, in being ordained, in being called. We have the gospel today of Jesus being present to a widow who had lost her only son. Jesus comes with a very open, compassionate heart. To the depths was he moved with this widow's tears. And after he then acted on that, the dead man came back to life. And then the people say, God has visited his people. In persona Christi Capiti, we of course feel very strongly that God has visited his people in the person of Christ in Father Chrispine. He is growing accustomed to the words, even more deeply, of St. Paul to the Galatians. I live no longer I, but Christ lives in me. Insofar as I now love in the flesh, I live in the faith of the Son of God, who has loved me and given himself up for me. God visits his people. God comes to understand us and to respond with compassion. And God's presence is very personal. It comes to us in the person of Christ. God is made present. God, who is invisible, becomes visible in Jesus. And our prayer for Father Chrispine as he begins his priestly life is that he can recognize that he is called to be the presence of Christ, to be priest, prophet, and king for us, to call us to holiness as a priest, to call us and teach us the truth as prophet, and he calls us as king to lead us to the heavenly kingdom. We come with great pride as your family, the family of St. Henry. We're here to rejoice with you and thank you for choosing to receive orders yesterday. And may you also recognize that you are in the order of Melchizedek forever. God bless you, Father Chrispine. Father Chrispine knows me only too well. He requires a rebuttal.
Good morning. Well, I have to say that I'm very happy and I'm very grateful. It's a very special day, yesterday, today, and the days to come. I think there'll be greatest moments in my life as they unfold. I don't know if you remember the story I told you about a potato some months ago. That all of us are like potatoes that are grown in the farm. Then with the time they mature, they are harvested, and they are taken to Safeways or Fred Meyer's. Then we buy them from there, and you bring them back home, and still you wash them, you clean them again. Then after that, you don't even eat them yet. You have to put them into the oven to bake them. So some months ago, I compared all of us to potatoes in the oven. Today, I would like to apply that one to myself. I would like to see myself on this first day that I celebrate my first Mass as a potato in the baking. And what do I mean by that? I was born many years ago. of two wonderful parents, John and Margaret. So that's where I was planted as a potato. Then I grew up in their farm, and all those years, almost 30 years, many people have crossed my life, forming me, helping me to be a mature potato. Among those people, you can see all of them here. Our great donkey on that side. You know what the donkey means. Monsieur Becha, you don't understand a donkey. You won't know what a donkey means. In this parish, a donkey is a punda in Swahili. Is meant to be a shepherd. A punda is a shepherd because a punda defends the sheep. It's used in Kenya to defend other sheep. So it's a shepherd. It never attacks the sheep or the flock. It just defends them and guards them against all evil. And that's what that punda there has done to me in one full year. So Monsignor understand that. So he's among those people who have been in my life. And among those people that I count, you are here with me today. I want to be that potato that is ready to be in the oven now without your help. I've said many other times that you really welcomed me well. And I've said it from my heart, and I repeat it, and I don't think I will forget it. That you supported me, you encouraged me to be who I am today. For that reason, this Mass is for you. And I thank you deeply from my heart. And all my life as a priest, I will always remember the parishioners of this wonderful parish. So thank you so much. And may God reward you for your kindness and for your love. Now that yesterday I was put in the oven, that is, I was ordained a priest. So the potato is just in the oven. That's why I'm not ready yet. I'm not perfect. That's what I would like to say. The potato will be completely baked when God Himself judges that this potato is really baked. So from now onwards, I know I've been ordained, not canonized. And that is rightly so. Here I am, I'm Chrispine, I'm a human being like you, ordained to the priesthood of Christ to serve. But I have my weaknesses. I can't deny that. I will make mistakes. I made one at the beginning of the Mass, and you may see others. I am a human being, but God has consecrated me for Himself to guide me, as weak as I am, to minister to His people. And therefore, you, His people, and myself, among the people of God, we just need to work together. When I fail, pray for me. When I succeed, when things don't go so well, please encourage me. Because alone as a priest, you cannot do anything. You are ordained a priest to serve the people of God. As Pope Francis says, we are supposed to identify with the smell of the sheep, and the sheep are supposed to accompany us with their love and their prayers. These are the words of the Pope. So the responsibility is also on your side. If I fail, it is because of my mistakes, but also you have to play your part. We are one flock. We are one flock. We are all donkeys to each other. And we are all potatoes in the oven. We are still in the baking process. None is perfect. We are in the process. And God Himself knows our hearts. He knows how much we struggle to be the best versions of ourselves. So that's my prayer for you all today. Thank you. And just remember that you are just a potato in that oven. Not yet ready. God Himself judges. Okay? That's the end of the second homily. Now, before I leave this place, I would like just to say thank you to many people in my life. Of course, the first of all is God for blessing me with this great gift. And secondly, my parents, John and Margaret. I know they are not here, but Gwen is recording the video and they'll be glad to see this one day. So Mom and Dad, you know I love you. Thank you for raising me up. Thank you, Linda, that's my sister. Thank you, Immaculate, that is my sister. Thank you, Judy, that is my sister. Thank you, Mike, that's my only brother. And we know as Catholics, we believe that those who have died are always in communion with us. So I would like to mention in a special way my aunt, Sister Isabella, who was a Franciscan sister and accompanied me in my journey of vocation as a priest, and she died in 2009. I've not gone back to even see where she was buried. She's deep in my heart as those people, as one among those who helped me be the one I am today. She was a wonderful nun, holy. She died because she was affected by cold. That's why I cover myself so well. And the other one is my grandmother, also called Isabella, a wonderful lady. She inspired me by her prayer life. And from her, actually it is from my grandmother Isabella that this vocation came up. You know, she always encouraged me with the prayer life and the way she gave her only daughter, her firstborn, to the church to serve the church. So I've always admired her. So Sister Isabella and my grandmother Isabella, I love you, and you know that yes, you are hearing, but not here physically. One day, we'll be together, and I love you. And my mentors, my formators, Monsignor Bechat is the rector of Mount Angel Seminary. He's not just a formator, the one who forms students. He is a holy priest who inspires students as with his own life. When he says Mass, you see that he is in that Mass. So Monsignor Bechat, in front of this congregation, I would like to let you know that as a priest, I have admired that, and I will try my best to be a holy priest, as you have always told us, and to say Mass with dignity and knowing what I'm doing. Thank you. Then to you all parishioners, you know your part. You are deep in my heart. You know that. Let's keep going on. Let's keep going on. We are always together. I'm ordained a priest today, but we are still leaves of the same tree. We are still leaves of the same tree. Let's keep on that journey with that love, with that connection that you have showed me. Let's keep it up. I'm going to St. Mary's Eugene, but I'm still with you. Okay? I won't mention so many people who have helped me in my life by name, because if I mention names, I may end up leaving some people out. So just know that I know you. I know you, and you know yourselves. What you have done to me, you've opened the doors of your houses, the doors of your hearts. You've reached to me, you've hugged me, you've encouraged me. You know that what you have done to me, anything you have done to me, your presence, your love, your gifts, you know yourselves. If I mention names, it will be endless. Thank you. Just thank you. And you are in my heart, as I say, celebrate this first Mass. Then I'm also having friends, they're not yet here. I have two families. One is coming from Ghana, and there's a family also that comes from Kenya. You'll see them in the course of the day. Helen and Philip and Mr. Isidore and his wife. Those are wonderful families that also have been very close to me, and I love them. And if you are here at 11, I will tell you more stories about them when they come. Now they are absent. So once again, let us remain united. A priest, yes, but just a potato in the oven put by God in the process of the baking. Nobody will tell, not even you, that I'm ready, a mature and perfect priest. He's the one who one day will tell. The journey begins. Alone I cannot make it. We do it together. And the same applies to you. You are not perfect. I guess you know that. So just know that we are in the process, and every day, put God first. Every morning, Lord, help me one day to be a fully baked potato. Well, I think we should stop here.